Okay, mic is on. Mic check, mic check. Mr. Blue here, TradePhantoms.com. Should be able to hear, see the screen, all that good stuff here. Good morning, everybody. What's going on, Paul? What's going on, Mark Wahlberg, Waluigi, Joe V in the house, Johnny Nguyen, JV Kraft. I see you, Kim Sutton. Today is going to be the last day. Hopefully, everybody's having a good month, etc. Good start of the week. Going to be ending the month here, June 30th, 2026. Again, I'm your guide, your host, Mr. Blue. Of course, TradePhantoms.com. Usually, I bring up the website there. We'll just kind of discuss this. About an hour here, hour and 20 minutes, give or take, on YouTube. I'll go through some pre-market prep. We'll start some futures. We'll go through some process, etc., and set up some Globex traps in the S&P, mainly in the NASDAQ as well. Then we take us into the open at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, about 38 minutes away from now. And if I see any live trading setups that are available off the open, I will analyze that and potentially execute and take that trade if I see fit. Hopefully everybody's having a good start of the week, as mentioned. And yeah, let's dive right in, and we can just start here. Hopefully everything's good here in the mic and all that. Light crew in here. But today, what's going on, TNT? What's going on, Misty? What's up, Tara? What's in Yuri? I see you, Yuri. All right, cool. Any planned economic news on this week, holiday week? As you can see, here in the U.S., we do have the markets closed on Friday due to the July 4th holiday over the weekend. But it's a shortened week today, being Tuesday. Let's see what we have on the dock here today. Nothing much in terms of planned economic news. Actually, I digress. My bad. I'm mistake. There is something here. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jolts. I don't know in my brain. I was just thinking that this is tomorrow, Wednesday, but no, this is today, being Tuesday, the 30th. Of course, we have 10 a.m. Eastern. Jolts job opening. So that's medium impact. That's something that definitely you want to be aware of, and that's 30 minutes after the market opens. So if you are in positions, aka day trading, etc., just know that we do have that hit point there 30 minutes after the open. So just keep that on your radar, of course, as you go through. Let's get to the good stuff here. I'll go to the I'll just bring up this document here first and foremost. Kind of get the blood and the coffee, tea, whatever you got going on in your life there flowing here. Let's get the SPX on a weekly time frame here on the left, and a daily time frame here on the right. Okay, we'll get to the live charts in a moment with futures, etc. But I bring this document up every single morning, no matter where I am. Okay, institutional demand and supply is going to be how markets work in the main strategy and backdrop of course, how we trade at Phantoms, just how the markets work. Okay, demand and supply, true demand and supply, that is. Emphasizing top-down multiple time frame analysis approach. I'll get to this pretty quickly here today. We've got some stuff to do here as the market's opening up soon. You're going to see three major colors on my charts: orange, yellow, blue. Chicago, what's going on, Eric A? I see you, Bucket. I see you, Parissa. Hopefully you're well. What's going on? Good morning, Misty. So we've got three major colors here: orange, yellow, blue. And anything you see in orange is the monthly time frame association. What's interesting about today is it's June 30th, meaning that tomorrow is going to be July 1. Okay, so that's going to be a new month, etc. Bills are due, right, etc. And also updating your charts. So today at close, we are going to have a finalization of the monthly candle, if you will, and then you should be mapping out going forward whatever products that you trade. Okay, make sure you know how those monthly bars closed going into the new month tomorrow, being July, right? Weekly time frame is going to get a color code of yellow. So anything you do see in yellow is a weekly time frame association: last week's high, last week's low, VWAP, etc. Followed by, last but certainly not least here, we get the daily time frame, which is highlighted in blue or color coded blue. Anything you see in blue is daily time frame association. Yesterday's high, yesterday's low. 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time off the open. I'm going to anchor a VWAP off the open, and that's going to be a color code of blue to represent daily VWAP. Bullish candlesticks. We talk about this more in detail in the what's called the advanced futures classes that we host, of course, at Phantoms. Okay, we have live trade rooms where we trade live. At least I do with you folks, of course. And then we also have the classes where you kind of learn the strategy, techniques, etc. So you can apply that in your personal trading. Key here is going to be a bunch of fancy names. We actually were talking about a bunch of fancy names yesterday, having a little fun in the futures class last night with the team. Awesome. Case or point being here is context and locations would be more important. Okay, so preferably looking for these bullish candlestick prints in the context and structure of uptrends, pulling back at a demand level in terms of location. Same thing for the bearish side, just in reverse. Context and structure, preferably lower low, lower high downtrend. Okay, rallying up into the location level of supply, looking for these bearish candlestick prints there to put more edge in our favor to the downside. We also have this liquidity map. Definitely something that needs a lot more time than what we have allocated right now. A couple, 30 minutes before the market open here. But we do have two actions in the markets. Okay, you can buy and sell, but there's actually four possibilities. Knowing the difference of liquidity, there's only basically four major orders in the marketplace, team. Okay, and that's going to be a buyer to enter. Okay, which is bullish accumulation. Now, after you bought to enter, you are now a market willing participant at some point, potentially as a willing seller, right? Because if you bought to enter, you want the market to go up. For example, let's say you're hitting your targets, you have to sell to exit to realize your gain. Okay, and that's going to be a distribution order. All right, buy to enter, sell to exit distribution. Even if you're on the wrong side of the market and the market's going down, breaking your demand level or your trading setup or thesis to be in, okay, you'd still sell to exit to realize your loss, as you should. Buy to enter accumulation, sell to exit distribution. However, we can also sell short to enter, okay, which is bearish. That's going to be entering the market as an accumulation order to be bearish. You'd want the market to go down in terms of price action. If it does, you'd buy to cover to exit to realize your gain. Okay, that would be a buy to cover to exit distribution. If you did sell short to enter and the markets are now rallying up and violating your supply level or your thesis to be in bearish, okay, well, at some point, yes, you'd have to buy to cover to exit to realize your loss. Okay, so what makes more demand, team? All right, yeah, there's a bunch of things, everybody has a reason why, but at the end of the day, okay, it's just traders and market participants putting in orders, right? And so what makes more demand? Buy to enters accumulation, and also forced to buy to covers, okay, on the wrong side, which is buy orders, okay? And we also have sell to exit, which is going to be distribution, okay? But you also can have sell short to enters, which is an accumulation of sell orders, okay? And that would be more of a supply dump on the market, okay? All right, so three actions in the market. Yeah, I like that, Eric. A. Three actions in the market: make money, lose money, sit on hands. I like that. I like that emphasis on sit on hands and make money and try to cut losers when proven wrong. I like that, Eric. That's my guy right there. We got our quadrants. We break it down into 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3 and 2 connect this as an uptrend, and 1 and 4 connect as a downtrend. And team, we dissect this in the classes. Of course, we have a lot more time, and the market's not opening up in about 30 minutes. Okay, and we're even going to taking this a step, I'd say tenfold forward. Okay, with the team, we're actually putting together other things that I don't want to bring up on YouTube right now for the members, of course, where we're taking this liquidity map, okay, and we're going to put it on steroids, if you will, and go through and put the criterion with all types of setups on multiple time frame analysis together as well. So that's also getting worked on in the backdrop as well. All right, that's a lot there, a lot of words, but let's get to the charts. Good stuff here. Let's start with the major 4 indexes for futures, and that's what you'll see here. So on the upper left here, get the S&P daily time frame upper left. I got the NASDAQ here. On the upper right, Dow Jones, lower left, Russell 2000, bottom right, major 4 indexes. As we speak right now, essentially markets are flat. We get the S&P basically flat right here, down 0.03%, nothing crazy there. NASDAQ down 0.12%, nothing crazy there. We get the Dow Jones essentially flat, and also the Russell 2000 fairly flat as well, right? The S&P and the NASDAQ are going to be the major 2 indexes, of course. Popping open the daily time frame of the S&P futures here, and here's the current price. Okay, and as you can see, this candle here, we just started this, yesterday evening. Yesterday's close was a decent bullish candle stance there, right? And so we were talking about this for a couple of weeks now. We had this gap up. Okay, we finally filled that gap, etc. But we have really not done much, team, right? So we had this nice little drop here. Okay, we talked about that. That's all now. Rally back up. Okay, now we just kind of just grinding and kind of fading back down. So here's this 20 period moving average, and we're kind of this is kind of sloping up, and now it's kind of just sideways here a little bit here. Nothing crazy. But if you notice, we're above it, we're below it, we're above it, we're below it. So the markets are, as we rallied up, okay, for essentially starting in April, okay, ending now Q2, by the way. All right, the end of June is the end of quarter 2 on the business cycle. the latter part of June here, we've just been kind of going sideways here. Okay, team. So we still have this, all-time high tag up here. We have that pivot low down there from a couple of weeks ago there. That was that wick that we were talking about. Okay. And we just kind of just trading kind of in the middle of the all-time high and that last little drop of that pivot right there. Okay. And that's kind of classified by the 20-period moving average, which is kind of just hovering sideways here as well. Now, if we do take the overall, I'm going to keep this like as simple as possible. Okay. But if we do take the just overall bigger macro picture, we're still holding up, team, right? We haven't really broken anything in terms of this macro picture up, trend overall bull market here, right? We're still ending the Q2 quarter here today, bullish territory up, right? Now, that said, doesn't mean that we can't go down, but that said, if I take yesterday's close just individually by itself, within the previous couple of days here, this is a bullish candle here, which is out taking previous couple of days sessions. Okay, we do have a decent little close back above even I'd say Friday's high, right? This is of course Monday, so that is a decent little what's called positive CFG. Okay, engulfing bar kind of there, if you will, kind of, right? And then we have it, of course, that's happening back above the 20-period moving average here on the S&P futures. Okay, and again in a bull market here. So if I'm looking at yesterday's close, the bulls kind of took hold of that. The question is that going to follow through and continue? Okay, and if that does, of course, we do have a daily high there, 623 coming in at 75.45. We also have this daily high here coming in, nice even number here, roughly speaking, at 76. All right, now of course, if we do drop lower, okay, we have yesterday's low at 73. It's rounding up at basically 74, but we're also going to drop down on the smaller time frames. I'm going to map out the Globex high, Globex low, which is already kind of mapped out on the trading view chart. Okay, and I got a couple of levels above and below for what's called G traps, which I will get into in a moment. What's going on, anchors? Good morning to you, man. What's going on, brother? Switching over to the Nasdaq, I can almost say virtually the same thing here. In that, okay, there's there's a little drop from 2 weeks ago here. We rallied up, got a new. We got a new tag there. We filled that gap. We've just been kind of going sideways here, right? 1, 2, 3, kind of yesterday even included. This is all just kind of sideways price action, right? So we haven't really made an advancement outside of these highs here or, these lows here. Yesterday's close in of itself, decent, right? Nice little positive COG there, taking out this red bar. But, this is still kind of inside of, heck, even last week, which is 624. What day was that randomly? Last Wednesday. Okay, so this is Wednesday's candle right here. Okay, Thursday inside of that, Friday somewhat inside of that, a little bit below it, nothing crazy there, closed back inside. And then even yesterday, even though we did close above yesterday's high, we still have not really yet made any advancement from last Wednesday's candle, give or take there. Okay, so in English, you could just put a box around here, and this is the basing. Okay, this is a basing, and if you've been trading over the past few days here, what's been happening here for the most part, it's been very whipsaw-like. Okay, so you got to stay close to the tape. We haven't really had a breakout or break up or break down in a couple days here at indexes. Okay, if I'm just looking here on the daily time frame, so kind of stuck right now. What's going to be the catalyst to kind of break this one way or the other? I'm not sure. All right, but the price action itself, in the event that we do trickle to the upside, okay, you have to get long. Okay, you have to get long here in the event that we do have some follow through. Okay, if we do break this range here, we do have this daily high here coming in at 30,000 sub 700. Okay, we also have this daily high here coming in at 30,000 sub, call it, sub 31,000, give or take there. Again, this is the Nasdaq. We are going to drop down in small time frames and kind of refine a bit in a moment. Actually, we're going to do that right now. Get right to it. All right, I will just bring this over into a different workspace here just to show really quickly here and emphasize that have the monthly time frame here on the left, a weekly here in the middle, daily on the right, monthly, weekly, daily. Okay, super important. Even if you are a short-term trader, you still need to know where you are on the bigger picture. However, we are going to drop down. I have a 60-minute time frame here on the upper left, 30-minute time frame here bottom left, using these two time frames as an intermediate kind of middle time frame, if you will, followed by a 5-minute here and a 2-minute time frame here on the hard right edge. And this is going to be kind of the small time frames here, right? So we got monthly, weekly, daily, big time frames, got a 60-minute, 30-minute here intermediate, followed by a 5 and a 2 smaller time frames there. So you learn at Phantoms multiple time frame analysis. All right, getting over into the S&P futures. I'm going to put this TP Googs. Google had a nice setup yesterday. Tesla as well. I like all my Tesla yesterday. I'll see if I can get to some of those gaps there too. It's already 9:06. I do have a kind of a hard stop today at 10:10 a.m. Eastern. Just here on the tube, so I'm just making a note of that. I'm going to switch over here to the S&P futures. We kind of already spoke a little bit about that, just on a kind of somewhat clean daily chart on that previous chart here. All right, so I got a daily time frame here on the left, okay, and I'm going to drop down over here on the right, and I'm going to put a 1 hour time frame here. Okay, now a couple things here, and well, first and foremost, we want to map out what's called the overnight high and the overnight low, which is the Globex high and the Globex low, and that's represented by kind of this gray box here. This is the overnight session, and then this line right there is the Globex low. About basically the 74.80 handle. We have the Globex high, overnight high 75.17 so far. And one of the first things that we want to do is look at that said Globex low and look for an well, first of all, what is the overall structure and trend? Still holding somewhat bullish. Okay, still holding bullish, having not breaking. We're not in a down trend or a bear market on the overall indexes on the higher time frames. We just kind of discussed that a bit. Okay, so overall trend is going to be important here. Okay, and we still are holding up in a decent little close yesterday, as we kind of already spoke about. Now, what we want to do is look at the Globex low and look below the Globex low for what would be hopefully looking for a fresh prime level of demand below said Globex low. I already have a couple things mapped out here. Now, yesterday was pretty decent. We had a flush out there. We were talking about this yesterday in the advanced futures class. We eventually followed through positive CFGs here. Bulls took hold of the market yesterday. Okay, in short. Okay, as you can see. And then below here, below the Globex low there for today, that being the Globex low for overnight, below there, we do have a couple of basing impulse, not the greatest, formation levels of demand down in here. Okay, but demand nonetheless. Okay, now another thing down into this level of demand, we have an basing impulse. Kind of have two levels: basing impulse kind of overlap. Okay, then I put like the middle line right there on the overlap at 74.70. Okay, so that's the handle right here where we have kind of two demand levels kind of overlapped, if you see there. Okay, now in addition to that level of demand would be below the Globex low, a couple things here too as confluence. We have this week's VWAP, okay, which is right there, which is essentially Sunday's open, which is it's only Tuesday, soon to be starting regular trading session here today. So again, this is still very early in the week here, but basically this is yesterday's overnight VWAP and yesterday's VWAP in combined to that, and this is going to be used as this week's VWAP. The point being is that's hovering at or around this area right here, which is going to be confluenced with that demand level, okay, below the Globex low there today. Okay, so we have this week's VWAP confluenced here. Furthermore, also in addition to that, we also have this month's VWAP, which is June, okay, which ironically we're ending June here today, and we're kind of balanced on June here because we started June essentially on highs here. We had that one nice big of flush there. Then we rebalanced that, came back up, and then now we're back down, but we're just kind of rebalanced on that, right? So here's the June VWAP pinned on June 1, and you can see we're trading below that, then we're trading back above that, and then now we're trading, back above it, but we were just below it yesterday there. So chop, chop, chop. So that's what I'm trying to tell you folks, right? The month of June was essentially kind of a digression month, if you will, after April and of course May just went boom, okay, straight up, okay, cranking new all-time highs with the semiconductor sector taking lead on that again for another pump. Okay, so that digressed a little bit there. Key thing here is we have this monthly VWAP here. Okay, also confluent with this week's VWAP as well at or around these areas here in the S&Ps. Call it 74.75. All the way down to 74.60 is kind of an overarching bigger area there of some demand. Okay, now what I'm going to kind of make a little audible here. I'm going to go through some supply above here. Actually, let me just do that real quick right now because I'm going to go over the SPX Gamma in a moment here. Now, this is the Globex high here. If I do look above and left, okay, we do have some supply above and left for a potential what would be a G trap. Okay, now we do have Vault in here. Let me see, 74.77 as aggressive G trap looks decent. Would follow the current context, 74.77. And yeah, that's about like right in there, and you got it. And what he's saying here, that's Vault E. He's a man. He's a sniper, similar to Tyree. He's looking at this right here. This is the basing impulse. This 74.77. Okay, and that's on a small time frame, 5 minute. Okay, so that is something there, team. All right, where we have an basing impulse where we popped out there. We have not tested that yet. All right, so that could be an aggressive little tag right there. All I did was but what happens here is that is a 5-minute impulse basing impulse. Okay, right there at the 77 handle, impulse basing impulse. Now, which is good, right? Which is good. Don't get me wrong there. All right, but all I did there is just when I go to a 30-minute or even a 60-minute, that impulse basing impulse, well, it's still kind of inside of the 30-minute time frame, so that does greatly qualify. Okay, so that's good there. All right, but if we did want to refine just a little bit, we have some lower levels down in there. Okay, so that 47.77, okay, it's definitely decent. If we have a day where it just kind of swipes right below the Globex low, that could be an aggressive G trap. Okay, just know that we have a 60-minute and 30-minute levels of demand. Okay, just deeper down in here as well. Okay, so this whole area here, 77 down into, again, the 74, 60 area is going to be very interesting in the event that we do break that Globex low. Okay, don't get trapped, okay, trying to sell short into these levels of demand below that Globex low. Okay, that's the whole point of a G trap bullish. Okay, now above price, right, here's the Globex high. Above here, I mean, we do have some supply. All right, yep, YT. If I had a little more time, I'd kind of go in that too. I love the way you're, you already know this, bro. Love the way you're looking at that right now, brother. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. For the risk of losing most folks in there. And also, you know, YouTube for free. I want to protect the members who are committed to Phantoms, right? So I don't want to give too much away on YouTube for free, man. Come on, man. Some creepy, weird people online. So got to protect ourselves a bit there, right? But yes, YT, I see you, brother. Above the Globex high, we have a level of supply here, right? Kind of a wide zone, I will say. All right, keep in mind we have that daily high there. This is June 23rd, which was last Tuesday. We had a nice little drop down there, right? Post-Fed. And so that daily high up there comes in at 75.50, essentially, call it. Okay, so that's why that blue line is up there. Now, in the event that we don't kind of get up at or around that daily high, we do have this, we do have a basing here, and there is a massive drop right there, team. So I'd be foolish not to have a 75.30 handle level of supply on the S&Ps above there. Right now, in the event that we do break and snap above that daily high up there, potentially if we get some momentum and kind of liquidity sweep above that daily high, I do have a bit of another daily high trap, okay, with a level right up here too as well. Comes in at 75, call it 56 handle there. And that's something that could also be used as a G trap as well, okay? So, this is a fairly wide zone here, team, right? From the 30 handle to the 50 handle. So you might want to go in a bit of a refinement process on that inside of that. I just kind of want to push on a little bit forward here. All right. But if you know IOF demand and supply, of course, you can go on the 5. And if we kind of refine up, this would be another level that's kind of inside of that as well. If you kind of want to get deeper up in there, which comes in at 75.40. Okay. And if I would just put a text on, this would be G trap bearish. Okay. But this is kind of deeper into the 60-minute level of supply. Suppy supply, there we go. One letter can change a lot. Only TNT Dynamite. He's the man. He's a snipe. He's looking at 75.35. And boom, right in there. He's a sniper in that in there. He's a snipe. All right. Good job. 35. Right there, baby. Boink. Tyree. TNT. Let's go. Dynamite. My man. All right. Now, this is important. I might lose some folks here, but learn. It's not my fault. Learn. I'm going to kind of transition a little bit here to the SPX, okay, because a couple things here. This is what's called the market maker gamma exposure, okay? We have classes on this. I have a class on this here at Phantoms. In short, looking for either a positive or what type of regime that we are in terms of market maker gamma exposure. This is advanced. All right. So in short, we have 3 major gammas, either positive, neutral, or negative. In short, positive is going to be kind of lower volatility. Prices are fairly quote unquote stable. Okay, grindy price action, not many flushes. Okay, as we're going higher, market makers would sell into those highs. As we're going lower, market makers would buying into those lows. Okay, basically containing price because of the regime there. If negative is the opposite, where it's kind of higher volatility, potential for bigger moves. Okay, and you can swipe above and below very quickly as market makers. If the markets are going up, they'd be buying into those highs, accelerating price up. As markets are going down, they could also be selling into that price, accelerating price lower. Okay, so that's the opposite of a positive gamma. That would be a negative gamma. Now, this is highlighted. You need a tool for this, right? This is options tab that we use here at Phantoms. We're not affiliated with them or anything like that. But in short, we have a vertical axis here. We have calls in green, puts in red. Okay, and on the left here, which is the main focus here too as well, okay, is going to be the gamma. Okay, and this kind of puts in a color shades of gamma for the regimes. Now, in short, all right, again, a lot more to this, but anything to the right of this vertical axis is positive gamma, okay, from the market maker's perspective. Anything to the left is negative gamma from the market maker's perspective. Now, positive gamma is going to be highlighted and represented by green and blue shades over here on the heat map to the left, whereas negative gamma to the left is going to be represented by yellow and red or pink shades on the heat map here to the left, right? And so positive gamma is going to be, and what I'm looking for is hot pockets of negative gamma where prices could theoretically slice very quickly through those red nodes, okay, or the red kind of condition here. But the opposite would be effect if you see blue. Okay, so we're opening up roughly about where right now, if I look at the S&Ps, we're basically flat, right? We're basically flat. So, S&P is down 0.06. So we're just flat. So let's just say that, we're going to be opening up around 70, where we closed yesterday, about 74, 40, give or take, right? So if I go back to this gamma node here, 74.40 is about right here where we're going to be opening up, okay? About right there. So I kind of zoomed in a bit on this already. Now, key takeaways here, looking for outliers, okay? Now, above price, we do have a small gamma node, 74.50. You see that's blue right there, okay? So I'm going to put a note on that. But even bigger is going to be up here at the 74, call it 95, okay? So above price, I'm going to put a red line at 74.50 and a red line above price at 74.95, okay, in the SPX. All right, so if I prop this open here really quickly, you get the daily time from the SPX. And because that is a positive, that's some positive gamma node above there. I'm going to put a pin on 7450, which is just above yesterday's high. All right, and I put that as a red box, okay, because since that is a positive gamma node, all right, that would be market makers selling pressure. All right, coming into there, okay, and then we also have this 74.95 area, which is a lot bigger, okay, up here, and that's up there. Okay, now that 74, I'm sorry, basically just to say 7,500, right? Rounding up, 7,500, even number there. That's an outlier there, bigger. Now, not only is it there for today as an outlier, also want to bring this up here too as well. There's another product that I trust and use here. Another one here, Spot Gamma. So in addition to today, 0 DTE, massive positive gamma up there close to the 7,500. Essentially 74.95. This is going to be total gamma of not just 0 DTE here today. Okay, so case in point here, and if you are if you do have spot gamma as well, Brent did mention this node here today as well here today in the founder's note here. 74.95 is also a massive positive gamma node, not only just for 0 DTE here today, okay, but also just overall for total gamma. Okay, so in short, because we have positive gamma above us at that 7,500, not only just 0 DTE, but also other expiration dates as well. Okay, watch out for this level here today, team. I'm only going to be here with you folks a little bit after the open here, okay? But up in this level right here, we have massive positive gamma here, okay? Now, if I do look, now check this out. If I do look at the 7495 price point on the SPX. I just dropped down just really quickly on a 1 hour time frame to kind of get in the weeds on this. Okay, and this is about the level that was kind of developed here on Monday the 22nd, roughly about 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here. Okay, give or take. And if I wanted to really refine that, all I'm taking is that line here and then seeing, where we were at the exact time. Okay, when we kind of broke down. Okay, so literally about the price point of Monday, June 22nd, about 10:30. Okay, Monday, June 2nd, about 10:30 a.m. Eastern. So if I take that to the S&P futures, okay, I'm going to go back. I know it's somewhere up here. Maybe about right here. All right, so that would be about this level here. So we can even make a bit of an adjustment here. Roughly here. Okay, so 75, call it 60. Up into this area here. 75, 74. Okay, so I spent some time on this, but this is key. Okay, in that if we do happen to get up into this level here, team, up in here. All right, specifically the 7560 handle, that's the beginning of this. This is where we have the 7500 SPX. Pretty massive, okay, positive gamma. Okay, and as we rally up into this level, market makers would have to sell into the SPX. Into the S&P futures up in this level as we get up into the 7,500 on the SPX, if and when we do. Okay, so don't, we have to get up there in the event that happens. Right now, of course, we do have to cross this bridge. All right, the 7530, 7540, etc. That daily high swipe there. Okay, in order to get there. Okay, but you got to prepare for that, right? In the event that happens. All right, so above this daily high, that could be that 7,500 SPX level where we have that nice, massive positive gamma node there, not only for 0 DTE, but also other expirations as well. Now, if we do get kind of above, notice this, if we get above the 7450 handle, there's a little, what we call hot pocket here at Phantoms, right? So there's a little to the left here, to the left, we got negative gamma here. So, theoretically, if we hold back, if the SPX cranks up, kind of holds above that 7450 handle here, okay, catching some bids there, theoretically, we can kind of sift through that negative gamma node through the 7470 handle here, okay, and we have a little positive gamma right there, 7475, not much of an outlier, but that could potentially fuel the negative gamma right there, 7470 could fuel the potential pop to potentially in the vicinity of that 7495, 7500 on the SPX, okay. I know I'm kind of going fast there, but yeah, this is advanced stuff there. Now, if we do break below down here, I want to put a pin on 7430. We have some good gamma down here, team, right? Of course, 7400, massive, pretty decent there. All blues down here, right? So that's positive gamma, positive gamma, positive gamma. All right, so I'm going to put a pin on 7420. We also could put a pin on 7430. That would be just a couple of price points on the SPX below. Okay, so definitely want to put. I'll see you, Tara. Definitely want to put some of that on the radar here. All right, I'm going to take a green line here. That's red. This is taking too much time, but these nodes are important. We got 7430, 7420. That should be good for at least the open here a bit. All right. That's good enough there. Get the 20 handle. And I already have a line at 7400, but there's even a bit of it. There's some gamma down here, team, positive that is. So I know it's kind of cheesy to map out every kind of 10 points here, but that's kind of what we have right there. 7430, 7420, 7410, 7400. That's the way it is. All right, with the bigger one there to 7400. So 75 overarching massive level there, 74 overarching massive level there. And I know that's kind of where we have the even number above there and the even number below there. And so we do have some gamma in between these levels here, team. All right. All right, we got 4 minutes before the market open here. What's going on, T-Wayne? AVGO, slight little gap up there, brother. Hoping that cranks out there for you, my man T-Wayne. Can't slow down. 5 minutes before open. All right, the VIX volatility index. Don't have enough time to explain every detail here, but in short, VIX up, market down, VIX down, market up, and a lot more to the volatility, a lot more to that volatility complex. And so try to keep it in as short and sweet and as simple as possible, mapping out the overnight high, overnight low in said VIX. VIX right now up, what, 0.23%? That's nothing, really. Outlier would be a plus or minus about 10%. That's kind of what I learned on Wall Street there. All right. So if the VIX kind of just remains kind of calm and down here, we're at a 17 VIX, which is not elevated as much. We're not on so low, but we're not, we're off the 20s, 25 highs in terms of VIX, right? So this is more of a volatility index here. So what you need to know is if the VIX spikes up and kind of not just a quick spike, as you noticed yesterday, we had a spike, okay, up, which made the market kind of flush down lower really quickly. But then that got faded, and then we just continued to trend lower on the VIX as the markets began to kind of trend higher yesterday. Okay, so notice that yesterday the VIX was down overall as the markets were up. Okay, now if that is the opposite, right? So if the VIX spikes up and kind of continues to trend up, for example, not just a spike and a fade, but a spike and a trend, okay, you have to be patient. Okay, that could be more bearish for the market. All right, if the VIX kind of just remains like this or remains down or even trickles down and trends lower as well, okay, that VIX down would be bullish for the market. So there's going to be opposite correlation there. Of course, we speak a lot about that, of course, in classes. I'm going to try to do my best here to get through as many gaps as I possibly can. Okay. And so we have the SPY here. It's kind of annoying. It looks like a misprint there. Super annoying. It's kind of messing up the charts there. It's kind of annoying. I wish they would just fix that. But we have basically no gap here. Nice little green bar closed yesterday. We kind of already spoke a little bit about that, right, in regard to futures. Doesn't mean that we're going to guarantee here to pop higher here. Okay, but we have not much of a gap there. Nothing to really say right home about there. QQQs, essentially almost the same thing. This is the ETF for the NASDAQ. Pretty interesting, formation here. Just kind of like boxed out. It's almost like kind of a diamond here, give or take. But, the QQQs did not close a positive COG and clear this bar there yesterday. So just watch out, right, above here. There could be some gap trap abyss up in there. Okay. Just be cautious with that. Again, I'm going to be really focused on that SPX, those gamma levels, okay, above in the event that we rally up. Okay. Same thing for the downside here too. Okay, if we drop down. Now we do have semiconductors, which is still on fire a bit there. Okay, it died down a little bit, but yesterday's close was nice on the semiconductors there. A little bit of a fakey breaky bar there. That's a bullish setup. We might be able to have some follow through continuation there today. Okay, nice little gap up. Nothing crazy there, but yesterday's candle on the semis, SOX and the SMH, which is the ETF for semiconductors. That's a nice little bullish bar there. We were just talking about candlesticks yesterday in the live class there. So that's bullish. All right, if we do get continuation off this, just take a peek at this daily high there on that. We just opened up already, so I don't have enough time to go through every single thing here. But let's see here. I'm just going to pull a VWAP here. That's the bell. All right, and let me just pull a VWAP here. Things yesterday, Tesla was a monster. I might need to calm down a bit here today. If you did manage to get some Google calls, you could TP some of that. We were talking about that swing trade at that daily level for quite some time now, the 334 level. All right, AMD outlier here. AMD is already kind of clearing that move there. All right, what I'm going to do here is now we are at this daily high here. We have to be extremely careful with this level right here, this daily high. But pull back on this, but I'm going to grab some Q calls here. I don't like it. The only thing I don't like about it is we're already tagging that daily high there. Watch out with the Apple puts, Mason. Just on those higher time frames, brother, we're at a pretty decent pullback level there. All right, this delay is just terrible. Basically, 228 might be fairly decent. So I'll pick up the 728 strike here. Let me give you some risk first analysis here. Copy this code. This is 0 GTE here today. This is going to be the QQQ calls that I'm looking here for. Apple actually has on a very small time frame a potential bullish setup there, trying to at least at a minimum. Man, this delay is terrible. All right, I'm fixing some Qs here. All right, 728 strike. We're going for about 260. All right, long calls, Qs. This is just completely frozen. All right. The 728 strike call here. Oh my God, this is brutal. All right, now we just wiped above this daily high here. All right, so you could TP some. All right, nice little pop on Qs here. Y'all got it? All right, so we could TP some here. All right, nice little clip. All right, that's a TP, right? All right, I'm gonna let go some more here. Right above this daily high, TP some more, I'd suggest. All right, nice pop, TP. Nice dump here. All right, TP some of this pop. TP from longs. All right. So sub $4 here, give or take. All right, nice little pop. All right, especially on YouTube, you folks that are, stop loss, trail, make sure this doesn't hurt you no more, etc. All right, that was fast, that was quick. Let's see, Tesla. Oh my God, Tesla yesterday was so beautiful. Oh man, noise. It is setting up something a little bit here today. I mean, we have this bar to lean against here at least. But yesterday we pushed. What would maybe like the 415, 420 strike look like? Excuse, oh, I didn't even fill. I didn't even get AMD looking good. 1, 2, 3, go here. Let me grab some AMD here. Q's new highs. Let's go, baby. AMD. Damn, implied vol. This is nuts. Holy shit. So that's annoying. So you gotta be careful there. All right, same thing from MU. Got a 20 EMA tag yesterday on that daily. All right, Apple fall through higher if you took that. And, you know, Mason's the man, but like Mason, I just want to make sure you're aware of that. You know, we're careful because we're close to that monthly low swipe, okay, a couple days ago. Okay, we're closer to higher time frame demand. You know, that's all I was saying there. So just watch out there, right? You say it was like, you know, bearish, all right, and then we have on the intermediate, it's not in 100% alignment. All right, but wide range bar off open here on the smalls, right there. All right, and we got fall through here. All right, so that monthly time frame, Mason and team, right? All right, that's all. That's all. All right. Let me see if anything changed here because it did slightly. That the be patient here. We got VIX chilling. 50 handle small gamma, but above there we have negative. You know, Tesla is giving a bit of a setup here, I will say. It's not the strongest. This delay is just annoying. I like to move fast. 50 handle. All right, Tesla has low risk entry right now. I gotta be a little careful from yesterday's just massive move for just digestion The next level that I got above, looking at the weeklies there, is like the 16 handle. So I wouldn't want to get too far away from, like, say 417 strike. I was going for about 360 here, 325. Now, if I were to right-click, copy this code here for the July 1, meaning tomorrow's expiration. It would look, in terms of risk, it's just too slow. Stop loss about 2.4. You know, you can potentially put it below just the opening bar print. This is the 417 tomorrow's expiration strike call here. All right, now you got to be careful. This is not like yesterday on Tesla. All right, so I got to be a little cautious here. Noteworthy, somebody had mentioned too, the SPX handle, the 750 for the 50 handle is a bit of a positive gamino. We're trying to absorb that right now, but stop loss here would be about maybe $230 in the premium. So it's not that much of a risk there. Does that make sense? If you bought these at 3 and you got a stop loss there at 230, you're risking about 75 cents. Does that make sense? All right, in terms of risk. Where the stop loss need to be placed on premium, if you're taking the long call 417 half strike, stop loss have to be at the premium price of 230. So if you just bought these at $3, okay, which I just got in here on the small account right here, all right, stop loss 230, all right, which would be about 70 odd cents there. All right, I had a killer trade yesterday in the Tesla, so want to make sure we're not giving too much back there. I want to get some long SPY calls there too. That's what the market's telling me at the moment. All right, let me grab this Tesla here real quick. It looks like it might even get stopped out here, but let me just get to some other account here, get some SPY long calls there. All right. All right, I'll put the notes there, but let me grab some SPY calls. Let me just check. Some internals. Q's at its VWAP, AVGO trying to go. VIX down. Probably lower. Nothing's saying nothing. Nothing's crazy here. Saying otherwise. That gamma node's there, but the 7400's massive. Sorry, 75. Repair SPYs over here. This is locked up. SPY. What are we trading? Basically 42 handle. So we could try to get this low risk here. Even if I were to pick up maybe like the 743, those are $1.29, $1.30 at least for right now. I got some Qs. Actually, a Q add is pretty decent there too right now. Nice little small time frame. Positive COG. All right, so stop loss on this. If we don't fall through, I want to give this some space, but if we kind of don't fall through, I'll put a stop loss on this. This is a long call on SPYs. If we don't fall through here, just stop out. Something like 90 cents. So again, it's small risk here. Maybe 20, 40 cents, give or take. If you bought this at $1.30, stop loss at 90. All right, some defined risk there, if that makes sense. All right, this is the 743 long call. today's expo. All right, stop loss here. All right, let me grab this other account. Already queued it up. SPY 743 strike. All right. All right, so somewhere in here, give or take. Crowd. Crowd looking good for the day. Fall through so far. I'm not sure how liquid and the spread is on the options, but good alignment. YT, my man, good job. All right, where we are. That's overnight VWAP. This is 9:30 a.m. VWAP. So as we speak right now, we're still holding up above these, above everything so far. All right, Apple equal to high TP some. Yeah, right now, yeah, Microsoft's everybody nobody likes Microsoft no more. Yeah, some of these tickers have high vol. Somebody called this out. Good job. Pull back into VWAP. If you took that VWAP bounce on Apple, nice little pop there. You got equal to high TP tag. Let's see if we can get a new higher high there. And I've been long S&P futures since like early this morning. Nothing crazy. I was seeing if I could if we broke the Globex low to build a bit more size there down in here. Not sure if that's going to happen here today. Still keep that on the radar though. Of course, keep it on the radar. We already kind of went through that. That's our recording. But right now we were just talking about this yesterday. We have a mother bar here. I'm on a very small time frame too. Pull back, another, trying to attempt to make another wide range bar here. Pull back. So if we get positive COG here, team, can I add, yes or no? If I do get a positive COG here, can I add potentially here? Okay. Oh, just TP some. All right, let's TP some. All right, take some profit on SPY longs, Q longs. All right, SPY Q TPs, QP ski. So I just went into the 2-minute bars like, okay, bullish bar, bullish bar, bullish bar. Here's the bars, above VWAP, above VWAP. If this thing pops, okay, pop, yeah, it's GP, right? All right, I'm gonna dump some spies here. Nice pop. Tesla not bad too. TP team. Going nice TP campaign. Professor just says yes. Yes. Let's go. Cool. All right, Tesla popped if you got that too. You know, not super exciting here. But this did manage to give you some here. This is not the greatest setup here. I'm going to take some. This is Tesla. Right click. All right. Make sure you're realizing gain on the. Oops. See. Oh, because I already have limit orders above. All right, new high spies. Let's go. What the fuck? What am I doing wrong here on Tessie? What? Give me my money, bitch. All right, I'm gonna have to I don't know what the fuck. Anybody having a problem? What the fuck? Anyways, I'm gonna have to X out and restart that. I don't know why. I canceled everything. I cleared the whole thing. It's not. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong right now on that. Refresh that. All right, make sure you took some profit. You know, I was hitting that up there, right? I'm trying to hit Tesla now, so you know, nice little pop there, right? Okay, whatever. you must say the password first. All right, nice pop. All right, anybody add? I'm battling delays and something weird happening in Thinkorswim there, but anybody add to that? If you did, make sure you TP. All right, let me see if I can log in on this here. And I gotta go soon too, which kind of sucks. Let's see if that works or helps there. Anybody who was in the futures class last night, did what we discussed help even here for this morning? Yes or no? Textbook shit here. Good job, Warrior. All right, let me see if I can finally hit Tesla here. Apologies for this. All right, well, a good old log out, log back in. Speak to support. Did you try restarting computer? Yeah, you fucker. It didn't work again, but this time it did. Good old restart. All right, whatever. Apologies for that. I just hit Tesla a little bit there just to see if they will fill me there, which was good. All right, but that's crazy there. All right, remember, negative gamma hot pocket a little bit above there. We were just kind of talking about that, right? Long Qs, long SPYs, distributed some there. Apple new high there. Semis are kind of annoying at the moment a little bit. All right, and then we got Tesla trying to maybe do a little bit of some fall through there. Okay, so we got this. Now, this is a negative node here, 7470. It's an outlier. So theoretically, in the event that we continue to get above there, market makers would have to buy up into there, potential follow through on that. Now, keep in mind, above there, we start to get some blues, emphasizing, as we already did, the 7495, 7500. Okay, so like right now, we do have some momentum at the moment. We still do have some room up into that 7495. We have this unfilled gap coming in at the 74.75 handle. So typically you'll get those 75s, kind of like the quarters, are pretty interesting there as well. There's a little bit of some gamma there, positive gamma. All right, so just make sure in the event that we continue to make a new higher high here, make sure you get some distributions, TPs. All right, but I will also say this, and I don't have much time here to manage everything here with you folks. I did have I don't want to put my information out there too much on the tube here, but death in the family, immediate family. So I got to go to some services here today and tomorrow. But so I got to leave here literally in a couple of minutes, and that's a hard stop. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to really be here to manage everything here with you folks here today. I would usually maybe do maybe like another 30, maybe 45 minutes, even on YouTube. Right, for of course, non-members. It's not the case today. It's okay, right? If you look at Travis' question, is consumer confidence much of a market mover? It definitely, for sure, right? It could, but even if this kind of forexfactory.com, which is coming out now, is interesting because it will actually give you a color code for how impactful it is, yay or nay. So that's orange. So is it impactful? I mean, yes. Is it the highest impact that you can get? No. But it's definitely impactful. And that's consumer confidence. So that's also spending, and we have jobs. So these are 2 hit points that something like the Fed would, the Fed is definitely looking at there at a minimum, right? Yeah, it sucks, Mason. I appreciate that. Life, part of life is death. It sucks. It happens. Get through it. It kind of sucks. But yeah, so that potentially could move. It should be already moving markets, right? And so we have a bit of a drop down here, and like I said, literally got like a couple of minutes here. So if you're trained up, and we were just talking about painting bars yesterday, etc. Just keep in mind you get that 7,500. We really don't have much of massive positive gamma below us here now, but we do have a little something there. So 74.50, all right, 74.20. Those are still valid. Keep in mind too that the S&Ps, I'm sure, did G trap up here, okay, above the Globex tie. The annoying thing about this now is we just kind of stopped so far at the 7528 handle on S&P futures. I'm sure if we drill in on up here, there's probably some supply up there, but we at least having this potentially get up into potentially higher up. Now we still could get up there, team, right? We still, of course, can get up there. Now we do have a pullback here. Of course, as you can see, and now we have this wide range bar to potentially lean again. So this is a pullback into that. And this could already be areas where you could have, anybody already begin to add potentially on that pullback there. If and when this does get down to this area here too, you could potentially get some kind of pullback entry there. All right, still long. All right, SPY's actually making a new high right now. Especially if you added make sure you subtract. Good job, Mason. All right, that's SPY's. I'm gonna unlock some more Qs here. Man, Qs would have been a nice add, I will say. That pop happened pretty quick. All right, nice pop here, team. Nice pop, nice pop. That's SPY's. All right. And then I'm going to let go of some Qs here, right, team? All right, unfortunately, I have to go. All right, and I'm going to be out of commission for after I leave here right now, and I got 2 minutes. All right, that's Qs that I just TP'd some more of. Nice ripper. All right, Tesla as well. All right, hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it, I would suggest. Tesla. Apple. All right, just got a perfect ad on SPY calls. Just trapped out news players. LFG, let's fucking go. Let's go, Mason. You deserve it, brother. You've been working hard, man. Keep it going. Stay disciplined. Stay true to yourself. Execute over emotion, baby. You know the deal. All right, if you want to be like Mason, this shit's better. If you want to be like Mason, yeah, appreciate the condolences, team, in all seriousness. How are y'all coming up into that 75.31? Make sure you realize gain. Okay. My schedule's been a little bit wacky this week, so I haven't really been pressing futures, but I'm trying to take this prop thing whole serious here. I'm trying to get some paid here, but that's nothing to write home about. But I got to get off the screens here right now, literally. I have a hard stop here. So, TradePhantoms.com, right? And so if you are, on YouTube, just kind of checking things out, cool, welcome. If you were to go to the website there, TradePhantoms.com, head on and register this Thursday, July 2nd, 2 days from now, name, email, phone number, click attend. You'll get sent the link after you hit that register button there. There's a topic agenda. Y'all can read that out. The Mr. Black or the Mr. Green will kind of host a 90-minute, essentially almost 2-hour session, give or take. Again, there's the agenda. I will take you through the top-down approach of kind of what Phantoms is all about. All right, we're all professional traders, myself, Mr. Black, Mr. Green, etc. Been doing this a long time. All asset classes, stocks, futures, forex, even options, everything, even crypto these days, right? Short-term trading, intraday trading, scalping, all the way to long-term investing. We have members that are still in high school, all the way to members that are already, not to bring age into it, but in the retirement stage in life. And that's awesome, just to give you the range and the spectrum of everything here. And everything in the middle, of course. So if you're just starting out, even if you're multi-millions and you're looking to just, start small with some small accounts to grow that's cool. If you have multi-millions and you're trying to manage that's cool as well. If you're a 17, 18-year-old kid just starting out your career and your life, trying to figure out if trading and investing is going to be your career, okay, if you have $200 to your name, eating ramen noodles, all good too as well. All right, that's why we've been in the industry a long time. We've been there, seen a lot of things here. We're not here to sell some shit for like fucking $50,000. Okay, does that make sense? All right, I've been in this industry a long time. So people who are serious, I would suggest that would be serious inquiries only. Okay, we have a couple of we have some jokes here, we have fun here and there, but we take it extremely serious. Okay, and if you're not serious about this business and industry, I would suggest maybe just move on and go do something else, and that's cool. Or another community, that's fine as well. We have a little fun, but we like to, of course, keep it extremely disciplined and serious when that bell rings and risk is on the board. All right, I'm out of here for the next couple of days here, team. Today being Tuesday, there's nothing tonight, no classes. I got some services to go through. Nothing tomorrow being Wednesday. No trade room tomorrow on Wednesday for the members. That got pushed to Thursday. So we will, at least if you're tracking Mr. Blue here, we'll be in the Thursday trade room, which is going to be the substitution for Wednesday. Okay, and then Friday is a holiday, which I kind of forgot about, but I'm still electing to or planning to be in that trade room on Friday as well. It'll be light trading, but we can always, I remember on Juneteenth, a couple of weeks, Juneteenth, last 2 Fridays ago, it was a light trading session, but we still chopped it up there, and we brought value for the time there, which I'm looking to hopefully do as well, potentially on Friday, maybe see if we can squeak in a little bit of some futures money there, some scalping. All right, I'm out of here. God bless. Take care. Blue out for a little while now, and I will see you folks on Thursday for the Phantoms members. God bless. Take care. Blue out.